Hey guys, this is Ash and Liv, and today we are going to be reading or talking about Esther 8, 9, and 10. So, yeah.
10 is short.
Yeah, 10 is like...
So in Esther 8, King Xerxes gave the property of Haman to Esther and told Esther that Mordecai was going to be in charge of it and he's going to take care of it. And Esther went and pleaded before the king against the evil plots for Haman, because there were orders to go do things, and they needed to make sure that what was going to be said was going to be done. So the king was like, well, Haman is like on a pull for a reason. Like, he had already kind of taken care of, like in a way he took care of like what some of the evil plots that were going to come against the Jews. And so then there were secretaries who were summoned to come and kind of fix the decree that was going to be over the provinces, and kind of to like change and add, because like whenever he signs it, that's like what is supposed to be happening.
Yeah, that's never allowed to change.
Yeah. And so then that decree was sent, after they fixed it and changed it, that decree was sent to the 127 provinces that he rolled over, and it gave the Jews the authority to unite and like come together and defend their lives, and so it allowed them to also kill anyone who was going to attack them or their family. And so then Mordecai left the king's presence wearing the royal crown and cloaks and linens that he was given, and they celebrated, and there was like a celebration in Susa, and yeah, I mean that's really it. The celebration is later like talked about, and it's like still celebrated. It's supposed to be celebrated. I don't know, I read something and it was like, it said to like live under his grace, and I think that you just, I don't really know, like I liked that saying because it was like a reminder to, like, you don't have to do anything for God. Like, it's simple. Like, I don't know, John, Ashton's dad, he's always telling us, like, we make it harder than it's supposed to be. Because God, like, he's the ultimate provider, and he's going to place you where you're at for a reason, and nothing was really a coincidence. So
yeah. And something I wrote down that I read was, while we should not expect earthly rewards for being faithful to God, they often come, and in unexpected ways. Esther and Mordecai were faithful, even to the point of risking their lives to save others. They were willing to give up everything, and God rewarded them in proportion to their all-out commitment in ways they could not have foreseen. So, just like we talked about in one of the episodes before, is like they didn't expect rewards. They were just doing it out of what they believed in their hearts, and God ended up rewarding them anyway. But it wasn't like all at once that God rewarded them. He did it in portions.
Also cool to like think about like the things that you like pray for and the things that like God delivers you from, because like once you pray for it, you never realize or go back and are like, dang, God really like came through in that. I think that that's something I like forget, and I like to be like, oh, what is happening in my life whenever I like prayed for like the things that have come, and I just don't even thank God for those small things. So
yeah. It's like reflecting on what God has actually done in your life. I feel like is so important, and just thanking him for all of those things. Esther 9.
So there was a war for 2 days. The Jews definitely like came and overpowered. It was kind of I was like, oh wow, apparently they killed like 500 people, and then
Yeah.
they like
in one
in one day. And Esther was like, can we extend this? She wanted to extend it so she could kill Haman's like legacy and his sons, and they were all hung on poles. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a dark
yeah.
chapter.
I know. I was like, okay.
The king is like, well, we can do anything. Like, I mean, he didn't care because it was Esther wanting it. And I think it's just cool to see like how far King Xerxes went for Esther, or like how much he tolerated, like cared for her and like let her do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was crazy to me. I was like, wow, he's really giving with his power.
And in this, we see the meaning of Esther's name really come out too, because in chapter 2, they mentioned that her name was Hadassah. The name Hadassah is derived from the Hebrew word Hadass, which is a myrtle tree. And just as a myrtle has a sweet smell and a bitter taste, so too Esther was good and listened, which is sweet, to the righteous, and was adverse, which is bitter, to the wicked, as we've seen in the chapter. It shows that she wasn't just a pretty face, but she was zealous about the things that concerned her and her people, and she would do anything to ensure their safety. So
I also saw something about the names as I was reading, and all of Haman's sons, his 10 sons, they all had names that were very like centered. I didn't write them down. I guess Ashton has them.
Well, there's 10 of them, but we won't go through them.
They're all like very arrogant name meanings. I don't know. My name means like consecrated, and so I don't know. Name meanings are cool.
Yeah, mine's supplicant. But it just shows that like the meaning of your name is so true to who you are, and it could be like for what God, like it depends on how you are, like how your heart posture is, if it's for God or if it's against God. So I just think it's cool how God does this in the Bible. Like we talk about how important names are, but he's also proving it in the Bible how important names are. It also says after they talked about like the names of Haman's, this is something I read, after they talked about the names of Haman's sons and how selfish they are, it says, self must die before victory is accomplished. Not only was Haman dead, but now all of his sons whom he arrogantly named after aspects of himself were dead. Haman's downfall due to his pride was now complete. So it just shows that it pays to be loyal to what God is telling you to do. It's always, if it's the will of God, then that's what it should be.
The hardships and you're gonna have hardships, but it's like
if you're doing what God is telling you to do, it'll be worth it.
They celebrated and had good food. They made it a tradition.
Which they called, it starts with a P. Purim.
Yeah, the festival of Purim.
Yeah, Purim.
To commemorate a time when sorrow turned to gladness and mourning into joy.
And they still celebrate this today. So in chapter 10, this one's pretty short.
It's basically about the festival and what they do.
Yeah.
To display like Mordecai's.
Yeah, the title of it is called The Greatness of Xerxes and Mordecai.
I think that like going through this chapter, like it talks about it was like another self-reflecting moment of like, do I want to be Haman, Mordecai, or Esther?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I am Haman, sometimes I am selfish and I do what I want because I think it's better, or because I'm just arrogant, I don't know. So I think it's like a good reminder to like really be intentional about like who you want to be, and I don't know, taking your daily bread of like, I want to be more like God and know Him more.
And being more like God is spending more time with Him and in His Word, because the Word is God. So the more you know about the Word, the more you know God. And the more you spend time in prayer, the more you know God. Like, just being intimate with Jesus is how you really get to know Him. And like changing your mindset to be like more like Jesus and walking that out every day is just so important. And
I think that like once you are like also like good with spending time with the Lord, like He will like reward you for being being consistent and being kind of like reaping what you sow in as well, like being like a good steward of your time. He'll like reward you for that. And I think that that's like big for me, because sometimes I get stressed, and I like, it's been big lately. As like I've been taking my classes and kind of have been like, oh, I don't have time for anything, when in reality like I can take a breath and take a time to like rest and I don't know,
and just
be with God, like He'll work it out, and He'll like
spend time with Him.
Yesterday I was running everywhere.
And
I was like, dang, I need to sit still for a second. And I don't know.
Just being with Jesus and talking to Him like He's your best friend, because you should be. And I think just talking to Him throughout the day, and not just making it like a chore, not making it like a checklist, like, because that's where I think it goes wrong sometimes, is whenever you're just I spent my time with Jesus today, I'm good, because it's like that's just not the right heart posture. Like, just spending time with Jesus, for me, talking to Him more than I talk to other people, because I always want to be in tune with God. I always want to be in tune with Jesus and doing every single thing that He wants me to do in my life, and never doing something for my own gain or for like selfish reasons, because I just want like the will of God in my life, and I don't want to do it out of I know that I'm going to get a reward out of this. I'm doing it out of God will bless me for this, but it might not be something. Like, it doesn't have to be physically something. Like, God, if I tithe this amount of money, you're gonna double it. Like, I'm not doing that, because
it's basically like just our way of like being like giving our praise back to Him. It's like there's nothing we can do like to like earn Him, and like it's just like our like time on earth is like supposed to just be like us giving it back to Him, because He's the one who gave it to us in the first place. And so I think like it really, like, my stress of school does not matter at all. Like, our life on earth is so small when eternity is like so long. And that's like ultimately like what we're gaining.
And even with that, like, every single person you come in contact with, how are you treating them? Even whenever you're having a bad day, are you treating them with like the fruits of the Spirit, or are you like just not treating them in a good way? So
that is our Esther series.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.